You are ruthless to others, but tolerant to yourself. This is one that is clearly doesn't age. Because that's a Marcus Aurelius quote. And yet it is still so true that we will judge and we will talk to others and be like, how could they make those decisions? How can they do those kinds of things? Why don't they get their life together? But when it comes to yourself, we've got all the reasons under the sun. We've got all the excuses, all the validations as to why it doesn't apply to you, why you can't do the work, why you can't step up, why you can't make the decisions right here, right now. And I think the internet, more than anything else, has exacerbated this situation and given people freedom to judge and question and belittle others. You know, we all know them, keyboard warriors out there, but you never turn that judgmental eye to yourself. You never turn that look inwards to be like, hey, maybe I actually need to change. Maybe I actually need to do something. We'd rather look at others and question them, look down on them, or think that they should do better. But we never turn that eye to ourselves. We never question our own choices. Remember, you don't get out of life what you want. You get out of life what you're willing to tolerate. But when it comes to our own lives, we will tolerate so much. We will tolerate an unbelievable amount that we would not tolerate from others. We would not find that acceptable in other people. But because it's you, you can find the justifications for it. And I think this is particularly relevant when it comes to health and fitness. So many people will tolerate, and let's be realistic here, unacceptable levels of health and fitness. And this always gets someone's panties in a knot. But it's the truth. Like, we can't fuck around with health and fitness, and yet we take it for granted. It comes back to that concept that the healthy man has 1,000 dreams, the sick man has but one. And we just are constantly taking our health, our fitness, these opportunities, these gifts that we have been given in this life for granted. But you can't. You have to step up. You have to make an actual choice and do what is necessary. You cannot tolerate this, level of mediocrity in your life. The one area you can never tolerate it is your health and fitness. It has to be the one where you take a stand. It has to be the one where you step up and you actually make a choice on it. But we as a society have decided that that's too hard. That's too much. So instead of calling ourselves out, instead of going, no, we need to do better, we need to be better, we need to make better choices, we've gone, oh, no, that's actually an acceptable level. That's something I am willing to tolerate. I'm willing to tolerate being overweight. I'm willing to tolerate being unhealthy. I'm willing to tolerate putting my health at risk. And people push back and they're like, oh, you're making an extreme point. And I'm like, am I? Is it an extreme point that you should want to be as healthy as possible? Is it an extreme point that you should want to look after your health and fitness for your children, for your wife, for those who love and adore you? That seems like a no-brainer to me. That seems like something that shouldn't even have to be questioned. That if you look after your health and fitness, that's just the standard. Like, that's not even going above and beyond. And yet, in what we are willing to tolerate, it seems to be that way. It comes back to that crazy one. You are statistically more likely to be a millionaire than you are to have a six-pack. Now, granted, I will grant you, having a six-pack does not mean you're healthy. It doesn't. But being fat and overweight also is a heavy, heavy indicator that you are unhealthy. And there are very, very few circumstances, if ever, where you're going to be fat and overweight and you're going to be healthy, despite what people want to say. If you're carrying extra weight, it's putting pressure on your organs. There's a good chance you're carrying visceral fat, which we know is the most dangerous place for it. But people want to talk about, oh, it's not that bad. But it's also an indicator of other things. It is that indicator of life choices. It's an indicator of habits, of, choosing the easy way. And yeah, it might take you 20 years to suffer the consequences of that. But it's still coming for you at some point. It's still coming for you. So why not go, I'm no longer going to tolerate choosing sedation. I'm no longer going to tolerate choosing the easy way out. I'm no longer going to tolerate this weaker version of myself. I'm going to step up and demand greatness of myself. I'm going to demand that I am the fittest, strongest, healthiest version of myself. That at any point I can step up and do the things I need to do. That I can take on anything in my life. And we have this weird concept that as we get older, it's just perfectly acceptable to get fatter, to get unhealthy, to get out of shape, that the body should just ache and hurt, and therefore we just decline. Or you could make a definitive decision to look after your health and fitness. You can make a definitive decision to make sure that you are in the best shape of your life. I was having this discussion with a mate yesterday at basketball. And he's like, it's just part and parcel. We slow down and we get older and that's just it. And I'm like, or not. Like, you could continue to choose to be athletic. You could continue to choose to stay fit and healthy and do the things that mean that you can continue to show up the way you want to. Decline is a choice. Yeah, you might not be as athletic as you were, when you're in your 20s. But to completely lose it is a choice. And I think this is the part people just ignore. They want to abdicate the responsibility. Instead of going, this is my choice. And when you break it down that way, I think it becomes way more in your face of what you're doing. It is your choice to be fat. It is your choice to be unhealthy. It is your choice to be overweight. It is your choice to watch everything decline. It is not a given. It is a choice. And you are choosing to abdicate your responsibility instead of stepping up and doing the work. Instead of stepping up and going, I will do what is required to be the greatest version of myself. I am 33. I have 2 kids. They are 3 and 4. I have a stay-at-home wife who looks after my incredible children. I run a business full-time. I work full-time. I am in the best shape I have ever been. Not by accident, not by mistake, by deliberate choice. And in fact, I'm ashamed of the shape I used to be in when I was much younger, when I had the opportunities. Because it would have been easier back then. It would have. But I made a choice to be in the best shape ever. That I decided that my family, my children, my wife, those I serve, deserved the greatest version of me. Therefore, I was going to step the fuck up and do what was necessary to continue to progress. And my goal is to get better every single year. Yeah, that's a completely unrealistic, unreasonable goal. But also, let's see what the fuck happens. if I keep pushing and keep striving and seeing what I am capable of, to continue demanding more of myself, who knows where I'll end up. But at least I won't be surrendering to the decline. And that's what most people want to do. They're like, oh, this is just the inevitability. This is just the reality of life. You just get older and you get fat and things hurt and you just start to decline and you just accept it. No, you don't. You make choices. You make decisions. You choose your path. And it's like we discussed the other day. Your life, your body, your health, your fitness is a direct reflection of your habits, your thoughts, and your choices. If you aren't happy with it, it's all your fault. Which is also the greatest gift ever, because it means you can change it. I remember my father telling me, because I used to pick on him before, when I was, ruder, younger, egotistical, dumber. But I used to pick on him for being fat. And he was like, well, you just wait till you have kids. You just wait till you get to your 30s. You just wait. Well, I'm still fucking waiting. My kids were the biggest reason to be in great shape. My kids were the biggest reason to step up. And I watch my dad every year realize this and go, oh, maybe it is a choice. Maybe it is a decision. And there were years where he's like, just wait, it's coming. And every year we get further into it and he's like, oh, or maybe it's not. And yeah, it means I have to make definitive decisions. It means I have to sacrifice certain things. But I sacrifice the fucking unimportant. It means I show up every single day to do what is necessary to be in the best shape. So I sacrifice my sedation time. I sacrifice the TV. I sacrifice the social media scrolling. I sacrifice the things that aren't going to progress me forward. I am completely intolerant of the things that will not better my life, of the things that will not push me towards the life I want to have. I have zero time for that shit. I am here for my greatness. And look, I might not be what many others picture as great, but I am here every single day working on it. And you know what? That's all that's required, that I am here doing my best in pursuit of it every single day, going to see what is possible. And that's the one that you can choose as well. Instead of being intolerant to others, be intolerant to yourself, to your excuses, to your bullshit reasons as to why you don't have the life you want. Get hyper critical of them. Get really harsh and start making different decisions for your greatness, for your health, for your fitness, and above all else, for your children and your family, because they deserve the greatest version of you. And that begins with you making the decisions to do those things. It's time for you to step the fuck up and start demanding greatness of yourself.